Hi sir, today me and my group mates are going to talk about the operating system of Ubuntu and Windows. And this is our content overview. Okay, so firstly, what is Ubuntu operating system and Windows operating system is about? For Ubuntu operating system, a well-liked operating system for cloud computing is Ubuntu, and is an open source Linux distribution built on the Debian operating system is Ubuntu, and is considered as a great distribution for newbies. Although it may be used on servers, the operating system was designed for personal computers. The Ubuntu operating system is special in that Ubuntu is a single platform that goes from consumer gadget to the desktop and up into the cloud for enterprise computing. In addition, Ubuntu is also providing a user-friendly environment, and all editions share common infrastructure and application. And for Windows operating system, Microsoft created the Windows graphical operating system. It was made available for both home and business computers. A computer can only be utilized when the operating system has been installed. Since it released in 1985, Microsoft Windows has had 11 substantial upgrades. Despite being more than 37 years old, Windows still features time-test components, more powerful processors, and most recently, a trend away from the mouse and keyboard and towards the touchscreen. The Windows operating system purpose is manage hardware, including mice, scanner, digital cameras, printer, and other devices. And also, Windows manage files, for example, creating, modifying, saving, deleting files and folders. And lastly, modify computer settings like your monitor, screensaver, and color scheme. Okay, so move on to the next slide. Is where is Ubuntu operating system being used? Ubuntu comes in a variety of forms, and distribution of the operating system was designed primarily for personal computers. Ubuntu comes with everything you need to run your organization, schools, home, or enterprise. All the essential applications like an office suite, browser, emails, and media apps come pre-installed, and 1,000 more games and applications are available in Ubuntu Software Center. And it is also fits with the Internet of Things, including devices, workstations, servers, and cloud computing. Every 2 years, Ubuntu releases a long-term support version which is released every 6 months. And so, moving on to the next slide, it is also where is Windows operating system being used. Microsoft Windows will be the market leader for desktop, tablet, and console operating system in 2022. Making it the most widely used computer operating system in the worldwide. The operating system is the sole thing that lets you use a computer. User may use it to access the internet, runs a program, play games, watch movie and view, and also save data and more. The fact that the majority of new personal computers arrive with Windows preloaded make it the most frequent used operating system in the world. And also, last but not least, Windows operating system is used in personal computers. And that's all from me. Thank you.
Hello sir, my name is Dustin, and I'm gonna present why there is a need for such implementation and technique. The first is Ubuntu. Ubuntu is just one of the operating system which are built using the Linux kernel foundation, and there are quite a few others, but most of the other open source operating system built on the Linux kernel are available to download and use for free. So the reasons to switch over to this Ubuntu operation system, there are plenty reasons. So some of them include, the first is free operating system, secure operating system, compatible with low-end hardware as well, and then easy to use, all the drivers included and completely customizable. But what about the Windows? So most of the software and applications are designed for the Windows operating system, and then it is very easy to learn in the Windows operating system compared to the other operating system. And then the startup and recovery options in Windows system are very good when compared to other operating system. Next are applications. What are some examples of the Ubuntu applications? The first is Gym. What is Gym? Gym is a mainstream image editing application for Linux, but this app is a cross-platform editing manager. It can be accessible from Linux, Mac OS, Windows, and other operating systems. So this Gym is an across-the-board program appropriate for graphic design. The second is Stecer. Stecer is a framework cleaner, and the third is a Calibre. Calibre is a component-rich and simple to use digital book manager. So this app is free, and this app also offers the option to refresh or change existing metadata. And then this Calibre app can download all the metadata of a file, including title, creator, distributor, ISBN, labels, spread, and many others. Then the next is about Microsoft applications. We all know about the Microsoft applications. For the first is Microsoft Word. We use it to do our assignment, to make a proposal, to make a report. And then the Microsoft Office Excel. So this application is based on a spreadsheet and available on both Windows and OS X. So this Microsoft Office program were launched for Mac OS in the same year as the Microsoft Word. So this Microsoft Office Excel is using for storing data and usually helpful in preparing ledger balance and maintaining accounts. Then the third is Microsoft PowerPoint. So we know all of these Microsoft PowerPoint apps. It helps us to do a presentation, and then we can design creative and engaging slides by adding the text and adding graphics to make maybe our client or our lecturer interested with what are we gonna present. And then we can decorate the slides and make them colorful also, and then to put up a nice presentation to showcase your portfolio or sample in front of a client or lecturer. The last is OneDrive. OneDrive is more like a Google Cloud, but it belongs to the Microsoft. It's a file hosting service and allows to store files as well as personal data in the cloud. So the files that store in OneDrive can be synchronized to the computer, downloaded, or shared with other people. Yeah, that's all from me, sir. Thank you.
Next is security. Compared to Windows, Ubuntu is more secure. This is primarily due to Ubuntu having a considerable smaller user base than Windows. This ensures that viruses of destructive software do less damage, as the attacker's main motivation is to affect the computer the most. Security tools such as antivirus are built into Ubuntu, and the updates and patches are released in a timely manner to close any security holes. So, what is special about it? The first is it's free. Free to use makes Ubuntu different from other operating systems like Windows or Mac OS. Downloading, installing, or updating Ubuntu is free, and it only takes time to install it. We can download it direct from the internet, or we can create a boot ISO disk and the environment can be started. With the help of Ubuntu, we can restore all unused or any low performance computer without
without any investment. Next is it's user-friendly. User-friendliness is also one of the advantages that makes Ubuntu survive from other operating systems. Because no one likes to use a non-user-friendly operating system, Windows and Mac OS are the successful examples. Ubuntu is as simple as the Windows operating system. It is a beautiful desktop operating system that any average computer user can use. And then is disadvantage. The first is it has limited and unimpressive game titles. Ubuntu is not an operating system for gaming lovers. There are very few games available for operating system based on Linux distribution, and many of them are not impressive. The majority of games that are compatible with this OS are overly simple, or to put it another way, they lack the advanced gameplay and rich graphics of AAA title. And then is issue about commercialization versus open source. The seeming commercialization of Ubuntu is one of the main complaints. Instead of collaborating with the open source community, the corporation spends the majority of its time working independently, forfeiting the benefit of gaining free input from a large number of developers. And next is free operating system for personal and enterprise computing. Due to the limited application of Ubuntu, its functions are limited, which has also become one of the main shortcomings of Ubuntu. Although the operating system is free and many applications are free to download, the counterparts in Windows and Mac OS are much better. Due to their larger user populations, major developers also favored creating for Microsoft or Apple. And the last is users from other OS like Windows or Mac OS may not like it. Users who switch to Ubuntu from Windows or Mac OS may not like the user experience on Ubuntu, although the operating system of Ubuntu is very user-friendly but still very different from other systems, because many software companies give priority to the development of Windows or Mac OS because these systems are used by more people. This makes Ubuntu difficult for some people who don't have time to learn the new system to operate the operating system. So here is the advantages and disadvantages of Ubuntu compared to other OS. And let's start with the advantages. The first is a well-rounded operating system for desktop computing. This is Ubuntu's strength, which makes it competitive with Windows and Mac OS, especially in providing users with a complete desktop computing experience. For example, Ubuntu comes with LibreOffice. It's an office productivity application. It's free to use, unlike Microsoft, which requires purchase to get full functionality. And next is minimal hardware or system requirements. Unlike latest version of Windows and Mac OS, Ubuntu does not require high-end system requirements. The recommended hardware configuration for Windows 10 is at least a GHz processor, 2 GB of RAM, and 20 GB of storage. The recommended hardware configuration for Ubuntu is at least 1 GHz processor, 1 GB RAM, and 2.5 GB storage space, which is much smaller than Windows. And next is Ubuntu is a popular operating system since it is available for free download and is open source. In contrast to Microsoft Windows and Apple Mac OS, people and organizations can own and maintain computers without having a proprietary hardware or pay for software license. And next is Ubuntu is available for a range of devices or computing platforms. It can be installed on many devices, including Windows and Mac computers. Additionally, it is applicable to robotic IoT devices, web servers, and virtual machines or containers used in computer simulation or virtualized computer systems.
Hi, I'm Win, and I will be talking about conclusions. So, the difference between Microsoft and Ubuntu. Microsoft is no doubt has the upper hand among the other operation systems because they have a lot of experience in operation system. And since its release in 1985, Microsoft Windows has 11 significant modifications, which improve better and better mostly. Major software developers, including games, prefer to develop for Microsoft rather than Ubuntu. This is because Microsoft have larger user bases. Microsoft targets the general population and is more financially motivated than Ubuntu. So this is why Microsoft can be seen in most of the product where Ubuntu may not be familiar to general populations. Ubuntu is developed under the Linux family, and however in recent years it have gained much more popularity because they have better features and user interface. The main advantage is that Ubuntu is free to use and it's open software. And another advantage is that Ubuntu also have better privacy and security option than Windows because it does not rely on third-party solution and reduces the risk of hacking and other type of attacks. So in summary, Windows and Ubuntu have their own set of advantages and disadvantages, as well as their own user communities. So since it's more secure and is cheap to use, developer and tester communities prefer to use Ubuntu rather than Windows. However, for general user and gamers communities prefer Windows. So we can conclude that it is primarily based on user requirements and preferences. This will be the end of the presentation. Thank you for your time.